What's going on, everybody? Kisabi from Showzone here, and today we have a tutorial on how to play Conquest mode. Now, I know a lot of you watching might be familiar with Conquest since it's been a feature in the game for at least a few years now, but there are some new users who might not know how to play or how to best effectively use Conquest mode to their advantage. So we'll be giving you guys a tutorial on how to play Conquest, how to give yourself an advantage with more fans, and thereby lowering the difficulty of the games. So first you'll go into Conquest here. There are a lot of limited time maps, and they will have an expiration down at the bottom. That's the last time that you can complete them for the full XP value. Usually goes towards the program. But there are a few maps that are repeatable, or that are there in the game by default with launch. So the two biggest ones are going to be the Nation of Baseball, where you complete the entire US map and conquer all 30 teams, or the repeatable mystery map, where you play the same 3 teams, and at the outset of each conquest, you get a 5-pack bundle. I'll be using the smaller map for the purpose of this video. So some basic things about Conquest is each team has a stronghold, which is, if I hit the toggle map view button here, you can see that each stronghold has a base of sorts that holds a certain amount of fans. Basically, each turn you can move your fans around, which are the reinforcements if you're familiar with Risk or anything like that. And you can conquer all of these territories at the outset of every turn based on how many territories you control. It'll give you reinforcements, and obviously the higher territories you control, the more reinforcements you get. So my best recommendation is to try and get as many reinforcements or spaces on the map quickly as possible, and that way you can just really overrun your opponents. You'll see to the right here that it shows you how many territories you have and how many fans you have, but the strongholds don't change. They are set in each map that you go, so we'll have to conquer the Braves, the Guardians, and the Angels as a part of this. Once you take over a stronghold, it replaces it with your logo, and then other teams can try and retake over that stronghold. But those are usually what the goals or objectives are, as you get a look here. So there's a few that say conquer territories and acquire fans, but for the most part it's capture the strongholds. There are a few maps where you have to capture a stronghold in a certain amount of turns. These aren't as common, but generally tend to be a little bit more difficult in terms of the game difficulty. For this one, I've already played it many times, and the repeatable goal, which it will tell you it is repeatable, this one is to get 5 show packs and 350 stubs. So the way that you do that is capturing all of the territories and the strongholds. What you want to do is make sure that you have all of the map down to the last final stronghold and then take it over from there. Otherwise, the map will reset once you capture all of the strongholds, no matter how many spaces that you have on the map. There's a few different phases as well. So starting off, you'll have the attack phase. You can see here I have 10 reinforcements, and I can move them to capture some territories. The other opponents on the map are 2. So what I like to do is try and use my reinforcements and fans to my advantage and try and cut off the tiles from the other teams so that they can't capture them going forward. So as you can see here, I'm trying to cut off the Braves before they can get too many territories. Next up is the steal fans. If you play a game, you can steal some fans from the stronghold. So right now it says the Braves have 7. If I were to play a game, I can steal this many fans from their stronghold. Usually the higher the difficulty, the more fans you steal away from their stronghold. Generally, the steal phase doesn't do very much in terms of winning the game any quicker. I actually think it kind of works against you. So unless there's a specific goal that says to steal fans, I usually recommend skipping this. To skip a phase, you just hit the start or options button and go to the next phase. Next up is reinforcements. So right now we control, I think, 9 or 10 territories. It says that we have 3 reinforcements remaining. As we capture more territories, so once we get up into like the 20 range, we'll get 4 or 5 reinforcements per turn. And essentially you place them down on the map with a territory you control. There's also an option to move fans, so say I still had a few fans back here at my stronghold, I could move them to a territory as long as it's connected to my stronghold. If somebody cuts me off up here and I have a territory that's not connected to my stronghold, I wouldn't be able to move any fans or reinforce that tile. Now we'll skip to the attack phase, and once again we're trying to capture some territories. So I'll go ahead and capture these ones to cut off the Braves, skip past the steal fan phase again. Now we have 4 reinforcements because we have more territories than we did last turn. So I'll add those here, and we're going to cut off the Guardians up here. Also, to confirm, you have to have a minimum of at least 1 fan per tile. So you can't have like a 0. You can go up to 99 in terms of the number of fans that a tile can have. Going to reinforce this and take over this space right here. So now you can see I've effectively cut off the Braves from here, and I'll just capture as many territories as I can so we can make the map go a bit faster. Next step is I want to cut off the Angels up here to the left. The other thing is, as you're coming across and capturing territories, there are some hidden rewards. So even if you don't want to play Conquest mode, I would very much recommend you just take the 4 or 5 minutes to capture as many territories as you can. There are a lot of hidden packs, stubs, a lot of like headliners and ball-in packs as well. Recently for MLB 22, they've hidden a lot of them behind the strongholds, so you have to play the games, but there are still some that are just kind of randomly out here away from some strongholds that are definitely worth your time to capture. Okay, so now I have all of the territories claimed on the map, and at this stage I'll have to start attacking the other teams, but I have gotten quite a few territories here just by going across the map. And now you'll want to attack the other spaces and try and take over. So this one will be a battle of 21 reinforcements versus 2. It'll take you to a page here where you can either play the game or simulate. And for these non-stronghold spaces, do not play the game. Simulate every single time. You cannot simulate the stronghold games, and those are the only ones that you'll have to play. If you go to simulate the game, it'll say the win chance for winning the game, which obviously we have a 20-2 advantage. We might lose a few reinforcements in the process. It's all kind of done randomly, but just hit simulate here. It'll show you the battle here. So we went from 20 down to 17, but we captured the territory. Do that a few more times here to capture some of these other territories until eventually we'll run out of reinforcements and we'll have to go to the next turn. But again, your best strategy is to try and capture as many territories as you can early on. That will just give you a huge fan advantage. The other thing is try and cut off the fans from the bases. So as you can see here, I've split all of these guys up here from the Angels base, and you'll see why I did that here in just a second. Now obviously the other teams can attack, but since they've already used their turns, there aren't too many more moves that they can use this turn, so we have an opportunity to just sweep and collect all these territories as best as we can. And now we're back to the Steel Fans stage. Since we can't capture any more territories, all of our tiles here only have 1 fan, and you can attack with just 1 fan. Now, if you want the best chance of putting yourself to win these games by playing on rookie difficulty, you're going to have to skip a few extra turns. There are a few turn-based goals for some of the maps. It'll say like complete the map by turn 15 or something like that. Large majority of them though, there is no time limit. I just recommend stacking up as many fans as possible, and that way you can kind of go 99 versus 1 for the strongholds. But personally, I like to control all of the tiles before I attack any strongholds, so I'm going to capture all of these up here and the Braves. So basically I'm just going to leave it down to the 3 stronghold tiles, and that's it. While I'm doing that, I like to make sure that they can't attack from their stronghold, which is where they get fans if they don't have anywhere else to go. And you can just kind of reinforce the territories around it so they can attack only those territories, and you'll be able to kind of stave them off because you have multiple fans in each of these tiles. So you could do 3, you could do 5. I mean, 5 would really make sure that they can't get past you. 3 is sufficiently enough most of the time. You can just kind of take over these other territories from here. Alright, so we've effectively conquered all of the map other than the strongholds. So if I go to my view goals here, you can see I just have 3 territories left before I earn this reward, which are the 3 strongholds. And I have each of these teams blocked off. Now you'll notice that I have the 3 that I kind of had as the defense lines, and then I have 44 over here and 8 over here. If I toggle to see how many fans the bases have at each stronghold, you can see they have 12 fans. So that would be the math game that you kind of have to play to see how much of an advantage you have over the stronghold with the amount of fans that you have. Again, now that we've effectively conquered all the territories, you could just keep skipping turns until you get to 99 at all stages, but sometimes you don't even need that many. I'll give you an example here. So if we were to attack the Braves stronghold with 3 fans, it's a 12-2 advantage since we have to leave 1 behind. We'd have to play this game on legend only. The other ones are blocked off. If we go up here to where the Guardians have 8 fans, we attack, you can see that our options are a little bit better, but still a bit hard since we don't have the fan advantage. It's down to Hall of Fame. And if we were to attack the Braves with 44 fans to 12, we do have a 3-1 advantage, but the rookie difficulty unlocks at 4-1. So right now we could play on veteran if we really wanted to, or we could just skip to next turn. I could add in my 30 reinforcements here to get all the way up to 74. and then if I were to attack the Braves, you would get rookie difficulty instead. And that's essentially how you do it. You just play these games. You just have to defeat all of the strongholds for the most part in most of the maps, but there are some other goals that you might have to achieve. For this map, again, you get the 5-pack bundle. It is repeatable, so if you do like Conquest mode and just kind of doing the game within the game with capturing all these territories, it just takes a few minutes to do, but definitely when there's a Conquest map that comes out as a new program release, definitely just at the very least get all of the free rewards that are around the map. You do get a lot of XP for completing these Conquest maps as well. I think it's something like 30,000 XP towards the program for each one that you complete most times. The nice thing about Conquest games is it's kind of like mini seasons. You can choose your squad and play against the computer. It's just like the Braves as opposed to somebody's God Squad team. It's very offline, so I know mini seasons, sometimes you can kind of lose that connectivity like we saw earlier in the year, and you might lose the game. Conquest is purely offline, so you can kind of do it at your leisure if you need to pause and come back. And the main thing about Conquest is with mini seasons, you do have stamina that comes into play. So if you use a pitcher, you can't use them against the next game because the stamina is kind of low. Conquest, you could use the same pitcher over and over if you wanted to. It's a great way to maybe grind parallel 5 cards without having to quit out of computer games quite often. You can use the same pitcher 3 times in a row if you wanted to and capture all these strongholds, get some XP going for them. The only thing is all of the games are on the road, so we'd play the Braves at Truist Park, we'd play the Guardians at Progressive Field, and so forth. So it is a full 3-inning game. You're not going to have the opportunity to play at home ever. But again, the games themselves are pretty simple. It's good for grinding stats and parallel XP, like I mentioned. That basically does it for Conquest mode. Again, it's just kind of like playing Risk digitally. You capture some territories. With a lot of these map designs, they are intended to kind of give you the advantage. The only one that's really difficult to capture some territory sometimes is this one right here. This one, every team starts off with their own little base, and you're kind of over here in the west portion where there's not as many teams, but it can be really difficult sometimes to kind of not spread yourself thin. So for a map like this, I would definitely recommend, again, capturing as many territories as you can, but protect your stronghold. If you lose your only stronghold, the game resets and you're done. I would also try and make sure that you capture everything in territory, so I wouldn't go all the way down here to Houston right away and spread myself into a single line. I would kind of do it in pockets, or like kind of expand like a circle until I kind of envelop the Twins, then the Cubs, you know, just kind of take it little by little and try and cut off the other teams while you're at it. But again, don't spread yourself too thin. If they break the line of where your reinforcements are, then you cannot reinforce them from there. You can only go the ones that are connected to your original strongholds. The other nice thing, and the last thing I'll mention, is if you happen to play this game against the Braves on rookie with 74 reinforcements and you lose, you just somehow happen to lose the rookie Conquest game, that's okay. You'll come right back to the screen. Instead of 74, it'll say 73. You only lose 1 fan and you can try again. So that's where, if you really want to just play it on the easiest mode possible and complete the map kind of as leisurely as possible, don't sweat it. Just take a few extra turns, accumulate some fans, and you'll be able to get things from there. I hope that answers everything that you need to know about Conquest mode, but if you do have any questions about how to play, some other tactics, let us know in the comments section. We'd be happy to help you out. We also have a lot of good friends on our Twitter page that make Conquest cheat sheet maps to show you where all the hidden rewards are. You can find those on our Twitter account at MLB the Show Zone. Conquest is one of my favorite modes. I prefer playing offline if possible, and this is a really easy, hassle-free way to get rewards. And I hope you guys enjoy Conquest mode as well. Signing off for now, this is Kasabi from Show Zone. For more tips and tricks, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time.